Okay, so welcome back to my channel. Um, Honestly, I'm just gonna be telling you who are the best defensive, offensive
Everything
characters.
can be hacked, and everyone.
Anyways, so the best defensive, offensive characters. What I mean by this is people in the offensive line who are great for the defensive role on a match. So there's two roles on a match: attack or defense. Now, of course, a bunch of defense characters are meant for, for that proper role, like Hanzo for probably one of the best defensive snipers. And by that, I also mean stupid. What I also mean is Hanzo is a great offensive defense player. By that, I will be making a video on that, but right now we're talking about offensive. Now, Sombra just came out, and she will be part of the list, but right now I want to say at number 5 is going to be Soldier. Just any spot, really. The thing about Soldier is he is probably the best counter to Pharah I've ever seen. So here's why he's so great at a defensive offensive role. His wave is so cringy, but anyways. His gun has 25 bullets in it and has a very, very high DPS rating, as he can mow people down from a medium good range of about 15-20 meters without having that damage fall off come into play, and his accuracy is fantastic. Here I am standing at, I believe, 40 meters, and I still melted him from a range beyond. The time to kill on him is fantastic, not only making him a great offensive role, but making him probably one of the best offensive defensive roles as for countering a Pharah. Now there's usually a Pharah, but if there isn't, he's still great because he does have a backup healing source just in case your main healer is dead. He has great damage output from his Helix rockets, and he has a sprinting ability to retreat, get into combat faster, which is fantastic because he needs that ability. You need at least one damage person on defense, or one offense player on defense, and to pick that one guy, you will have, to have a wise choice of picking Soldier. You will have a wise choice of picking Soldier, is what I'm trying to say. Because he is so great at doing both offensive and defensive roles, this is why he comes in at our number 5 spot. And when there usually is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, there's 7. There is 7 offensive players, so 2 of them will not be outmatched or not be here. But I mean, our number 4 spot, I'm going to say Sombra.
Everything can be hacked.
Now, why I pick Sombra? It's kind of an odd choice. He just came out 3 weeks ago, I think, about 2 to 3 weeks ago. But my main reason is to hack, have decent DPS, a lot of ammo, and to harass the enemy team with her invisibility and her escape route. Why I pick Sombra, like I said, her 3 abilities are great for defensive, offensive, or offensive, defensive, whichever you want. She's great on defense because she can retreat back to the defensive point while invisible. Say that is the defensive point. I can stay invisible and counter them capping the point, and at the same time I can harass the enemy team by doing this. Sombra's EMP is fantastic if they're all trying to capture the point, because everyone knows that the more people on the point, the faster it's going to cap. And this is what's great about Sombra on the defensive role, is that you can go there. Let's say this right here. Okay. I can get there and hack. And by hacking, they will lose all their abilities. You can then turn invisible after that, and boom, bada pow. They don't know what happened. They do, but they don't know where you are. And it will give you enough time and your team to finally come back and, well, recover that point while their abilities are gone, like their ults. This takes away the fact of people single ulting you, the entire team single ulting you, or Roadhog hooking you because he's a great attack tank. Okay, we got these two people done. I'm going to say number 3 is by far Genji. Now, why he is not a number 1 or number 2 is what happened to him during the first and second nerf of the Genjis. So, the first nerf of Genji took away the triple jump, which means I cannot triple jump after a wall run, which was a fantastic asset of Genji to escape any enemy lines. This did not only make him good at offense, it also made him really good at contesting points on defense, which is why back then I always played Genji on defense, because he is so fantastic at doing what he does, which is contesting a point on defense and harassing the enemy team like Sombra and Tracer. And you could also, before patch, if anyone ever played Genji before patch, used to be able to dash melee, dash animation cancel your melee, which is amazing because you were able to put out over 240 damage, which is fantastic for an offensive character. Deflecting is great for deflecting any ults coming into that point, and he's also great at, like I said, contesting. But he would have been number 2 or number 1 if that nerf never happened. Now the second nerf is where they reduced his ult time from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. I never really counted the amount of ult time he had, but we can hurry up and get this testing done.
Think up on your actions.
Okay, so yeah, see, so it is 6 seconds. It is 6 seconds, but it used to be 8. And here's the thing. That was able to give you about maybe two to 3 swipes from your Genji, so you could get a absolute huge team wipe. Now, if I want one thing returning to Genji, it would rather be the melee animation cancel with your dash, but I think they would never do that. But I do think the ultimate nerf was definitely uncalled for. Because there's no point. There was absolutely no point. Maybe because they wanted to take away the 2 extra slashers, but why not just reduce it by 1 second if you want to take away 2 dashes? I really do not like the way they nerfed him in that second way, and if they nerf him again, he's probably going to be put to the ground. He's already been hit hard enough, and as I'm going to quote Siegel, is that the Genji nerf only made him more passive, which is why he is not at the number 2 or number 1 spot, because, well, I think it hurt his defensive play a lot more than it did his offensive play, and because he is already an offensive character and a great one at that, these nerfs that happened were to make him not as good as defense, which I think that is completely the case. And I still love Genji, and I still think he's now only really a pure offense character, but he's great for occasional defense. And if you are a great Genji player, you are going to be the best at him when it comes to defense. Let me give you some quick points. His ultimate can give you a close to a team wipe with about 4 to 5 people, but if you do get a team wipe, I think you have to hit 90% of the time. You need to hit 2 people with your slash, and then maybe 90% of the time you have to do that, because if you don't, well, You're just not going to get a team wipe. You're going to get the other guy really low on health. You have to kill them all with... You have to hit at least 2 or more people with each swipe every time you swipe with your sword. Anyways. So. Yeah. Now, if I was ranting on Genji, I would... People are going to ask, or at least in their mind, is why would he put him at number 3 if you say he's purely offensive? Like I said, his ultimate can clear a ton of enemies off the point. He can contest really well, but not as well as he used to. His dash can get him onto the point quick or off the point quick to save a life. And his deflect is fantastic for deflecting any enemy ults, any enemy hooks, any enemy helix rockets, any enemy anything. So, yeah. But if I do want something back with Genji, it would definitely be the 8-second sword. But we're not talking about Genji. Coming in at number 2, what I really think would be the second best offensive defensive character is McCree.
Justice ain't gonna dispense itself.
Why do I think McCree is the second best offensive defensive character? Now, any enemy flankers he can easily deal with this flashbang. Any enemy tanks he can easily destroy by doing this, that, and that. Alright, it's called the McCree Wombo combo. Now, most people know you flashbang, you fan the hammer, and then you roll to automatically reload your gun, which will then give you these next 6 shots to put into the enemy. And the thing about McCree is he's not like Genji. He has been nerfed and buffed multiple times to where I think it's just done. I think they're done nerfing and buffing him. And if they do nerf him again, I'm gonna be really disappointed with Blizzard, because he's the type of guy that takes even more skill than Genji at this point. No, not really.
It's high noon.
But so I'm gonna show you guys his damage drop off is really weak as a whole. I think it goes around maybe. So here we have 10 meters. Damage drop off is completely good. Now we're gonna move over to 20 meters, which is where I think it starts to fall off. Nope, stays the same at 20 meters. But when you go to 30 meters, this is when his damage drop off really hurts him. At 25 meters, that's when it's okay. As you see, it takes 3 shots from 30 meters to kill. Now, I believe in the beta, you used to be able to 2-tap people right here, maybe even over there. But if I move to about 25 meters, I could 2-shot him. So his damage drop off is really effective at that 25 meter range, which makes it good for defense because people are going to get up and close with defense, and there's going to be a lot of Reinhardts, which means his shield's wide and open, ready to be fan the hammered. Okay, if that Reinhardt is by himself, you can simply roll behind a shield, flashbang him, fan the hammer. Or you can walk behind the shield, flashbang him, fan the hammer, roll, which you'll have another set of ammo with, and fan the hammer. This will destroy his health and leave him very, very vulnerable to either a melee or about 2 to 3 shots of this amazing revolver. You can also fan the hammer down a shield, roll behind it, flashbang, fan the hammer, which will allow you to put decent damage onto his shield, but then he's going to lower it and regenerate the shield, which is not what's going to make McCree good. Now, why am I talking a lot about Reinhardt? McCree is great for countering a Reinhardt, and he's fantastic on defense because he can easily make up for those flankers, and he can destroy the tanks, and he can, well, yeah, flankers and tanks, that's basically what defensive is, or, yeah, defensive role is you're fighting against flankers and tanks. And Genjis who are flashbanged are dead. Pharah, McCree is quite great when it comes to countering Pharah, but she's going to be up in the air enough. Now, Deadeye. Why do I think Deadeye Why do I think Deadeye is pretty good?
It's high noon.
Well, his ultimate is fantastic. Why do I think his ultimate is great? It's fantastic for clearing out 2 to 3 to even 4 enemies all at once. You can even get a team kill if you are lucky. That's why McCree's great, because his ult can clear off a point pretty fast if you get the higher up. But make sure you do it when it's maybe halfway there or below, or else they might capture the point. Because the more health, the longer it takes to lock in the target. McCree is is the second best offensive defensive player around, and that's why I pick him. Flankers, tanks, and he can clear off a point. Also, I forgot to mention Soldier. Soldier's ultimate is okay. I mean, it's not the best because he can't hit headshots. That's why I think his ultimate isn't quite the best. But it's definitely good for those people who always make mistakes. But still, great offensive defensive player. So let's hop into a quick honorable mention, which is, we're just going to be Reaper. The thing about Reaper is, he can destroy the enemy Reinhardt shield and the enemy Reinhardt himself. The thing about Reaper is he's just not that good at dealing with any flankers or Genjis or pretty much any tracers because he just can't shoot them fast enough, do the DPS. He can do the DPS to tanks. His teleport is great and his Wraith, but they aren't really that that defensive. Now, if you guys didn't guess it already, Tracer is going to be the best offensive defensive player. Now, a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and I'm going to give you a reason why. When you're mainly going for a defense, you want to protect the point at all costs. Tracer is great for that. First of all, she has 3 blinks and a recall. Basically, you have 3 blinks. You basically have 6 blinks, but the last 3 blinks are all combined together to give you back your recent health and your recent ammo. And by the time you're done with your recall, you're probably gonna have another blink ready. She is really fast, she is really annoying, and that's why I pick her as my number 1. She can do high DPS for an offensive player. She's really fast, and it takes 20 shots to kill a guy who has 200 health. Now, when you're an offensive team, you're mainly going to have 5 people with that. If they have a Reaper, then that's pretty much it. If they have a Reaper, you probably have 4 people who only have 200 health, and then the Reaper's the 5th, and then you have the tank with the most health. Now, Tracer is pretty good at melting a tank's health if you hit the headshots. But if you can't hit the headshots, then you're pretty much just harassing the tank. Especially if it's a diva. If it's a diva, you're just basically tickling her. But yeah. So the reason I picked Tracer is she is better than Genji. She's better than Genji at pretty much everything when it comes to contesting a point, keeping a payload going, keeping the blinks intact. Oh yeah, she is probably one of the best. She's the best for contesting a point because she has those 3 blinks that gives her a really good amount of distance. And let's take it to the meter test, shall we? This is 0 meters, 3 blinks. It's probably gonna give her. It's gonna give her about 9.5, maybe 9 meters. So 9, 18, 9, 18, 27. So you're gonna get 27 meters off the blink. Actually, you know what? You're only gonna get around 21 meters. So 7. You only get 7 per 7 meters per blink, which is still fantastic. Because so 21 meters every time you use 3 blinks, which is fantastic. That means you can teleport in a circle like that. You can basically do that on a contested point. In this, that is why she is fantastic. This is why she's number 1. Her pistols do really good damage, and her time bomb is okay. You can stick it on enemy tanks, lower their health. You recall behind the Reinhardt shield or the diva, and you chip off the rest of the health. then their tank is dead, and your rest of your team can go at them. She does only have 150 health, but for those people who really like Tracer and are really good with her, she is definitely a treat to play. Oh my god, please die. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you need more reasons why, Tracer's #1. This is, she doesn't take much skill. She has blink, 3 of them, and a recall that gives you previous location and health, and then you have the pulse bomb, which does 300 to 400 damage per bomb, which can melt a Zarya, take off a big fraction of Roadhog, and her DPS is enough to counter a Roadhog's healing ability. It's going to get Reinhardt to use a shield more, which means he's going to back up into a corner by himself. You're going to blink behind the shield, and you're going to melt him with the rest of his health. Unless there's a Mercy or a Zen on him, you will have no problem melting the 2 best tanks in the game. Well, actually, D.Va might take Roadhog's place. After you're done marking D.Va, you get behind her when she's using your little shield thing. You'll just melt her health down, and she'll be down to that 150 health with that little pew pew pistol that still does a good amount of damage, but overall just not as good as Tracer's pistols. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, possibly subscribe. It would make my day. More Overwatch videos coming soon, and I'm going to explain why I'm not going to be doing Destiny for a good while. Anyways, peace out.